Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We're having our next stop on the tour of Lake County history. And today I was going to talk about Wickliffe, a place near and dear to my heart. My family and I lived there from 2012 until the end of last year. And, all four of our kids were raised there. It's a great community. I moved very far over to Willoughby Hills, but studying up on the early foundations of Wickliffe, it was first known as Range 10, Township 9, a small portion of the Western Reserve's 3 million acres, which would eventually become the city of Wickliffe. In 1817, Wickliffe's first residents arrived, Williams, Jones, and Abner C. Tarbell families, who traveled in two covered wagons from Haddam, Connecticut to the Western Reserve. They first moved to Cleveland Public Square, but soon relocated to land purchased on a knoll west of the intersection of Lloyd Road and Euclid Avenue. Very close to where we lived. The city, for its first 100 years, so, from 1817 when it was established, basically through 1916, was a precinct in Willoughby Township. In 1916, a petition was filed requesting Wickliffe be permitted to be incorporated as a village. That passed. The city continued to grow, and when they reached 5,000 let me back up a second. In 1852, the first railroad through the area was built. So until then, the only way to get into the area was by stagecoach and horses. In 1852, the Lakeshore and Michigan Southern Railroad came into town. And then the first city interurban came out as far as Taylor Road until 1895, when the CP&E, whatever that is, ran a line from Cleveland to Willoughby. So in the 1850s, it became a little bit easier to get here. In the early 1900s, it was still much farmland. Many people still grew grapes, onions, and fruit, and sold their crops to Cleveland market. This is sad, and to this day you drive by Euclid Avenue and it's very evident. But in 1928, the trees on Euclid Avenue were uprooted so that a sewer line could be installed, and several houses were moved back to make way for businesses. Wickliffe officially became a city on October 6, 1951, and in 1954 they dedicated Wickliffe's still famous City Hall, Colby Mansion, to become the City Hall. And anybody who lives by Wickliffe City Hall, as I used to, will see that multiple times a year the place is flooded with kids taking prom and homecoming pictures from all over the place. It's a very beautiful building. I'd be remiss to talk about the city of Wickliffe without mentioning that I have a family member who is, in his own words, a very important dignitary of Wickliffe, and that's my brother-in-law, Justin Ball. Currently sitting on the City Hall, and he does call himself a dignitary. I don't even know if the English language has enough words to describe how important he is to the city. He ran unopposed, which some people would use as a knock against his prestige, but I say that it's actually more impressive because, I think, when people saw his name on the ballot, everybody just got scared, and they didn't want to, suffer the embarrassment of losing in a landslide. So shout out to the self-proclaimed dignitary of Wickliffe, Ohio, Justin Ball. I'm sure when the histories are written 100 years from now, who knows, the city may even be called, Ball, Ohio. So shout out to Justin Ball, Wickliffe City Council member, esteemed dignitary of the city. Hope everybody has a good week. Talk to you later.